Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today is either the last day of Wilmer's first century or the kickoff of Wilmer's second century. We're 100 years old this year, and as the director of the Wilmer Institute, it's my honor to celebrate the kind of event that I think will ensure that Wilmer continues to have the kind of impact in the world that our founders dreamed that we would have, and live up to the expectations that Hopkins would have for us. I'm delighted to have the Wilmer Board of Governors here with us today. They're the people that pretty much are responsible for us to have this building, to have the majority of these plaques on our walls from our professorships and so many other wonderful things that have happened at Wilmer. I'm delighted that we have the Executive Vice Dean of our School of Medicine, Dr. Landon King, with us, who you all know, and someone that I think many of you will not know. We're delighted to have William Bill Stromberg, our trustee, here with us today. Now, because it's our centennial year, they didn't send a regular trustee to be with us today. They sent superstar trustee. And so you say, well, why do that? He's a Hopkins grad and he's a trustee, but there are multiple trustees. He's chair of the board for this advisory committee for the School of Engineering. But even more than that, he is, according to Hopkins magazine, the greatest football player to ever play at Johns Hopkins in our history. And he's the only Hopkins alum to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. So he played for a while, signed as a free agent with the Philadelphia Eagles. And as I was pointing out to Dr. Ahmed recently, I grew up across the river in New Jersey, and Eagles fans are animals. So fortunately, he quickly decided to go, like all the greats, go up to Dartmouth and got his MBA at the Tuck School of Business, and then became it took a little while to get there, but became the president and CEO of T. Rowe Price, one of the great corporate citizens of Maryland and Baltimore. So, Mr. Stromberg, thank you so much for joining us today. Speaking of, on the theme of superstars, we have Ishrat Ahmed here today with her mom and dad. Ishrat is a Hopkins product through and through. She got her BA and her master's and her PhD and her MD here. And then she was a Wilmer resident and then lost her way, and for 2 years did a fellowship at an obscure academic institution in Massachusetts. And then, but fortunately, we were able to lure her back to Wilmer, where this has been an exciting 18 months, I guess, for her. Her first job after training, her first child. I think about 10 days ago, she got her first large grant from Foundation Fighting Blindness. And then today, she is the recipient of this tremendous grant, which is designed to accelerate the careers of our best and brightest. Now, our philanthropist who made this possible today, I'll introduce him a little bit more later, Mr. Bang Jensen. My wife is from Minnesota, and all these people there are from Scandinavia and Northern Europe, and she coached me on how to pronounce, so I hope it wasn't too bad. It's the New Jersey accent, you never know. But he's been a supporter of Wilmer and two of my faculty for quite a while, Peter Campachero and Harry Quigley. And then I was told he decided that he wanted this professorship to support the next Peter Campachero. And I thought, boy, I'm sure glad I'm not going to be that person that people would compare to Peter Campachero, because probably if you ask the National Eye Institute, they would say there's no clinician scientist that been more productive than Peter has been. And I've had multiple presentations by vice presidents of R&D of ophthalmic pharmaceutical companies who are working to develop products for AMD, these anti-VEGF agents or whatever. And as it seems like 100% of the presentations are always, we're particularly excited about our candidate molecule because as part of our preclinical testing, we had it tested by Dr. Campacharo at Johns Hopkins in his animal model, which is a laser model to create blood vessel growth in the back of the eye. And he says it shows great potential. And this model has proven quite predictive of efficacy in humans. So even aside from all his papers and everything, his work has been remarkably applicable and relevant to clinical drug development. So, so when the committee met and they recommended to me that it be Ishrat Ahmed, I thought, great, easy peasy. You'll have no trouble being the next Peter Campacharo. It'll be easy. So congratulations to both Peter and to Ishrat today for making this happen. So these Wilmer Rising Professorships are our way to try to make sure that our best and brightest people get launched very quickly with their careers and are able to have as much impact in their research and careers as possible and not spend the first 5 to 10 years of their life trying to get their first grant and get up and running. So that's why this gives us such great optimism and excitement for the future of the Wilmer Institute and our field. So with that introduction, it's my pleasure to ask Dr. King to join us at the podium.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you yet again for the invitation to be back here. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Certainly on the other side of the door, but also on this side of the door. This is really yet another extraordinary opportunity to celebrate in Wilmer, and I'm going to take the prerogative to offer that this is at least one of the early days in the next 100 years, not just the end of the last 100. So thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity to celebrate on this incredible occasion. I'm very pleased to be here with all of you and other members of the Hopkins Medicine and Wilmer Eye Institute communities. On behalf of the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, it is my honor to celebrate the dedication of the Retina Rising Professorship in Ophthalmology and the inaugural recipient, Dr. Ishrat Ahmed. And Dr. Ahmed, in hearing the narrative from Peter, I just want to also say congratulations on your escape from Boston. Endowed professorships support both creativity and stability, enabling a great academic medical center like ours, and our extraordinary faculty to sustain forward progress. The generosity of supporters of the Wilmer Eye Institute significantly enhances the opportunity for Wilmer faculty to serve as a model for other departments of ophthalmology around the world, and indeed, our faculty do. We're grateful to Mr. Per Bang-Jensen, mine's a Kentucky accent, I suspect it's not as close, for such a generous gift to Wilmer. And it's, as Peter noted, a result of his generosity that we are able to gather here today to celebrate the Retina Rising Professorship. The Retina Rising Professorship, which as a category, as you know, was really Peter and the Wilmer board's genius, I think, in identifying this as a particularly important and impactful way to move science forward in a way different than anyone else in the university had thought about, and probably anyone else in most universities. So we're here today in reflection of this as a career-changing opportunity for the inaugural recipient, Dr. Ishrat Ahmed. This is equivalent to Wilmer's traditional professorships for senior faculty members. Rising professorships equip our young investigators with extraordinary resources in the early stages of their careers, which significantly enhances their opportunity for productivity and the impact of their work. which will benefit patients today and into the future. Today, we celebrate and honor Dr. Ahmed for her many achievements. With a robust background in neurodegeneration, Dr. Ahmed has a keen research interest in inherited retinal diseases. Notably, she co-authored a study entitled Association of Acute Macular Neuroretinopathy or Paracentral Acute Middle Maculopathy with Sickle Cell Disease, published in Ophthalmology Retina in November 2021. This research utilized multimodal imaging to investigate retinal and choriocapillaris changes in sickle cell disease patients experiencing acute vision loss. I was a critical care doctor when I had a real job, so I'm going to talk to Dr. Ahmed after and ask her what I just said. During her third year of residency, Dr. Ahmed was named a HEED Fellow by the HEED Ophthalmic Foundation, an accolade supporting promising ophthalmologists in their postgraduate studies. So again, Dr. Ahmed, on behalf of the School of Medicine, I offer you congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Because the endowment for a professorship is held and administered by the university trustees, professorships are formally presented to the university. So with that, I would like to invite Bill Stromberg, Johns Hopkins University trustee, to join me at the podium. Is that fixed? It's fixed on there. We'll leave it. We'll stand close to it and get a picture. Okay. I think that's what we're supposed to do. On behalf of Johns Hopkins Medicine, I formally present the Retina Rising Professorship in Ophthalmology to Johns Hopkins University. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of Johns Hopkins University, it is my great pleasure and great honor to formally accept the Retina Rising Professorship. I am immensely proud to recognize in the formal establishment and dedication of this Rising Professorship. The men and women at Wilmer who hold Rising Professorships conduct some of the most significant and high-impact research and bring considerable prestige and honor to Johns Hopkins, named through their collaborative and multidisciplinary work. Their work makes this a great university, and their ability to chart new courses of research and patient care comes in no small part from the reliable support of endowment. Endowments truly are the foundation on which this university is built. On behalf of the university, congratulations on this tremendous achievement, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you for your contributions to medical research and patient care at Wilmer, and for the work you will continue to do long into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stromberg. It's my pleasure to introduce a person who's responsible for us being here today and making a big impact on Wilmer. I think I mentioned with Mr. Stromberg that all the greats have been to Dartmouth, and Mr. Bong Jensen is no exception. He was a Dartmouth undergrad, economics major, who then temporarily lost his way and went to a small, obscure academic institution in Massachusetts, and then went on to a career that, if you read it in this booklet, every time I read it, I think, what a lazy son of a gun I am, and because it's just so impressive, all the made different contributions that he's made. He came to Wilmer for his eye care. A while ago, met a resident, and then met some of our faculty, and has been a patient of Dr. Campochero's, he was described to him by a resident as being an elegant surgeon, and he believes that's the case. He told us that his gift, he wanted to ensure that rising professors like Ishrat would be able to train and do their early career research with the financial safety net that such an endowed professorship can provide. He's a long-tenured businessman who was principal of a Singapore-based international maritime construction company for many years, doing projects in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and South America. Subsequently, he was a director for the company that researched, discovered, preserved, and documented the Spanish galleon Nuestra Senora de la Concepcion, which sank off the coast of Saipan in 1638. This project was a joint venture with the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands and was featured in a cover article for National Geographic. And the recovered artifacts, over 1,000 pieces of jewelry, are on permanent display at the National Museum in Saipan. But in addition, he was, like my dad, a captain in the U.S. Army in the Adjutant General Corps that George Washington started, and during which he received the Bronze Star for meritorious achievement. So thank you for your service to our country. He was a member of the National Board of the Vietnam Veterans of America Foundation and co-founder of the International Campaign to Ban Landmines, which won the Nobel Peace Prize. With accomplishments so distinguished and varied that you have made Wilmer a priority is very meaningful to me and to my colleagues here at Hopkins and to Wilmer. And we know that there are many wonderful causes, very wonderful causes that you've been more than a small part of, and so we're particularly grateful that you made this day possible and that your gift will, as the first Retina Rising Professor, will be supporting this brilliant young person. Even when she was a resident, she was a favorite of our faculty and never seemed exhausted, never seemed cranky, always had a smile on her face. It was always a pleasure to work with. And I asked her about it earlier today, and she said it must have been a different residency in our day because particularly the PGY 2 year, the second year, it's tiring. And I don't know many people other than Ishrat that were always happy and smiling and seemed to be enjoying a good time and keeping everything in stride. So she is going to have as bright a career as possible. And if there's anyone at Wilmer that potentially be the next Peter Campicero, I think it's probably Ishrat. So thank you very much for making this happen. And now it's my pleasure to ask Mr. Bang Jensen to come and speak to us.
I am definitely delighted to be at Wilmer today. But there would not be a ceremony today for any of us to attend if Wilmer had not decided back in 2020 to initiate an incredible, innovative program for assistant professors to be able to receive endowed rising professorships. Wilmer has selected Dr. Ahmed as the Wilmer Retina Rising Professor of Ophthalmology. This is a well-deserved honor, both based on her career to date and her exciting potential for great achievements in the future. With a combined medical degree and a doctorate in neuroscience, she's especially well-suited to undertake the cutting-edge research while also continuing to provide skilled clinical care to her patients. This is unique that Wilmer puts such a high priority on having both tasks. The Retina Rising Professorship will enable Dr. Ahmed to spend an increased proportion of her time on research projects many years earlier in her career than otherwise would be possible. This should jumpstart and slide forward her research career, which can be especially beneficial since early years of research and a longer career can be synergistically productive. I'm here today since I've been a Wilmer patient, a past volunteer in Wilmer medical trials, and a support of research projects at Wilmer. I have a special interest in retina research since my mother had macular degeneration in her latter years of life. Personally, I've had a successful, very delicate retina surgery at Wilmer, an epiretinal membrane peel thanks to Dr. Campocheros. And I think the resident actually said that he was an elegant surgeon, that his surgeon was elegant. But slight difference. But probably both are true. I believe that supporting the endowment of a rising professorship is a wonderful way to provide perpetual support for retina research at Wilmer by a never-ending stream of individually selected talented ophthalmologists undertaking potentially insightful research early in their careers. In the decades ahead, some of the rising professors will undoubtedly become international leaders in their respective research fields, and in turn, will be mentoring future rising professors at Wilmer. While medical research always faces challenge and inherent delays, one can be optimistic about the possibility of some of the extraordinary research breakthroughs occurring in the next 10 or 20 years, as medical research continues to become combined with improving tools such as AI, stem cell procedures, gene editing, advanced imaging, and robotic surgery. These and other accelerating changes in technology reinforce the benefits and the importance for Wilmer's growing group of rising professors being able to focus on more research early in their careers. For Dr. Ahmed and Wilmer's other rising professors, it should be an extremely exciting time to be an ophthalmologist at Wilmer. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to add my thanks to Mr. Bang-Jensen for funding this the Retina Rising Professorship. I think that, Per really likes to hear about the challenges we face in treating patients with retinal diseases, and he likes to hear about, the ways that we can overcome those challenges. And he's been an avid partner in new treatment development, and I thank him for the financial, intellectual, and emotional support he's provided me for my research efforts. He really, truly wants to make the future brighter for patients with retinal diseases. And what better way to make a long-lasting impact than to support and foster the development of promising young investigators. And of course, that's Peter's dream with the Rising Professorships. Now, when he decided to make this award, Peter put together a committee to determine a particularly good candidate to receive it. And I was privileged to be on that committee, along with Dr. Laura Ensign, who's our Director of Research, and Dr. Harry Quigley. And there were many very excellent candidates, but Ishrat Ahmed really stood out, and she was the unanimous choice of the committee. As you've heard, Ishrat did her undergraduate studies here at Johns Hopkins, and she received a Bachelor of Science in Cellular and Molecular Biology, and also minored in French literature, indicating her interest not only in science, but in the humanities. She speaks 3 languages. Talk about, feeling lazy, Peter. I mean, when you see the things that Ishrat has accomplished, it really is humbling. She, as part of her undergraduate degree, looking into all these different areas, she had a lot of interest, but one thing that particularly interested her was the communication between neurons. And so after she graduated, she joined the laboratory of Ted Dawson. And Ted is an authority on Parkinson's disease, which is a neurodegenerative disorder. And Ishrat joined his laboratory and made valuable contributions to the research, co-authored important manuscripts, and she had such a great experience there that it inspired her to go on and obtain a MD PhD in neuroscience, which she did here at Johns Hopkins under the mentorship of Solomon Snyder, who is a legendary neuroscientist and for whom the Department of Neuroscience here is named. So during her MD PhD, she studied another neurodegenerative disease, Huntington's disease, and she did gene therapy, which involved very precise microsurgical injections into a small region of the brain. And that was very successful, and she authored some very high-impact papers. But in addition, that experience illustrated to Ishrat her interest, but also her skill in microsurgery, as well as gene therapy and neurodegeneration. And that, that combination is something that is incumbent in ophthalmology. And so she then pursued, as Dr. McDonald noted, her ophthalmology residency here at Wilmer, performed at a really superior level, and then after that sojourn to Boston, where she got advanced training in retinal diseases and surgery, we were able to recruit her back to be an assistant professor here at Wilmer. And she's been focusing her research and her clinical efforts on inherited retinal degenerations. And this is, something that involves her interests of trying to preserve or prevent neurodegeneration, as well as gene therapy and microsurgery. And it's a real boon for the field because currently there's not a lot of treatment options for patients with inherited retinal degenerations. And, attracting brilliant young researchers like Ishrat is really important for the field. Now, Ishrat has really hit the ground running because she's established her laboratory, she's obtained funding from the National Eye Institute, and recently she got a Career Development Award from Foundation Fighting Blindness. And Foundation Fighting Blindness focuses on retinal degenerations. And so for that award, it was a panel of experts in inherited retinal degenerations that selected Ishrat, indicating that experts in the field recognize her great potential. Now, in addition to her laboratory work, Ishrat also participates in clinical work, and she's involved in clinical trials, testing gene therapies for patients with inherited degeneration, and she's a co-investigator of a large multi-center trial investigating a new agent in patients with retinitis pigmentosa. And she's done all this as a new mother and a devoted wife. So clearly, Ishrat is the ideal recipient of the Retina Rising Professorship. And congratulations to you, Per, for a really excellent, savvy investment, which is going to going to provide wonderful dividends for patients with inherited retinal degeneration. And congratulations, Ishrat, on this, this understanding from all of us of your great potential, and this award, which is going to, make it even easier for you to continue the fantastic progress that you're already making. So it's my privilege to introduce Ishrat Ahmed, the inaugural Retina Rising Professor.
So thank you, Dr. Campachero, for sharing that really remarkable story of the accomplishments of Ishrat, who no doubt has benefited from your leadership and mentorship as well. So I have no doubt that the support of the Retina Rising Professorship, and with that support, Dr. Ahmed will make even more rapid progress in her career and research endeavors, which is a little hard to imagine based on what Peter just described and the other Peter described before that. On behalf of the School of Medicine, I am pleased to present you with this medallion as a symbol of this honor and in celebration of your installation as the inaugural recipient of the Retina Rising Professorship in Ophthalmology. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Campachero, for the generous introduction, and thank you, Dr. King, for the award. I am honored to be here today, and I'm incredibly grateful to be a recipient of the inaugural Retina Rising Professorship. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to Mr. Pierre Bang Jensen, whose generosity has made this professorship possible. Mr. Bang Jensen's gift was inspired by two remarkable physician scientists, Dr. Peter Campachero and Dr. Harry Quigley, who continue to have a lasting impact on the field of ophthalmology while inspiring and training the younger generation of ophthalmologists, including myself. This rising professorship reflects their legacy, a deep commitment to advancing scientific discovery and supporting the next generation of clinician scientists at a critical stage early in their careers. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Peter McDonnell and the board, whose vision for this rising professorship has had an incredible impact on many faculty members early in their careers at Wilmer. And I'm honored to join this group of rising professors. When we think about professorships, we usually think of senior members of the department who've had distinguished careers. But the Rising Professorship is truly a remarkable initiative, very unique to this institution, and one that embodies its tripartite mission of excellence in clinical care, education, and discovery. By supporting early career physician scientists, it ensures that promising research ideas are not delayed due to lack of funding, and it creates an environment where creativity for big, impactful ideas are not only encouraged, but also sustained. And lastly, it reinforces what has always made Hopkins and Wilmer so exceptional, an innovative community grounded in the pursuit of knowledge for the advancement of patient care. These are just a few of the qualities that first drew me to Hopkins and that have continued to reinforce my decision to grow, contribute, and remain here over the years. My own journey with Hopkins began actually 2 decades ago and has been the foundation of my academic and professional life through undergraduate school, medical school, graduate school, internship, residency, and now faculty member. Each stage of that journey has deepened my appreciation for this institution's mission. And when I look back on this journey, I see how profoundly my path was shaped by remarkable mentorship, by compassionate patient care, and by the transformative power of philanthropy. And these are the 3 themes I would like to share with you today. So over the years, if you've already heard a little bit from Dr. Campachero, I've had several mentors who have shaped my career trajectory. During my undergraduate years, I had the privilege of working with 2 physician scientists, Dr. Ted Dawson and Dr. Joseph Savitt, in studying Parkinson's disease. Both Dr. Dawson and Dr. Savitt were incredibly generous with their time and mentorship. They showed me how one could unite patient care with research aimed at developing cures. And ultimately, they inspired me to pursue the dual MD-PhD training here through the Medical Scientist Training Program. In graduate school, I had the privilege of training with Dr. Solomon Snyder, or Saul, a pioneer in neuroscience and a remarkable mentor. Saul taught me to approach research with intellectual clarity and creativity, and to ask meaningful questions and to design experiments that were both elegant and powerful in their ability to answer questions. And this philosophy really shaped the way I think about science. But perhaps even more impactful was the culture that he fostered in his lab. He often reminded us that family comes first, and he treated the lab as an extension of his own family. And this experience left a lasting impact on how I aim to mentor and build my own lab. And while deciding on my career choices in medicine, I was very fortunate to have met Dr. Jim Handa, who has been an invaluable mentor to me ever since. I vividly remember the first time I saw the retina in his operating room and was immediately drawn to this delicate structure, which was incidentally the surgery that Mr. Pierre Bang Jensen had. And he showed me how the retina was the perfect subspecialty for me due to the intersection of neuroscience, medicine, and surgery. His guidance also played a pivotal role in my return to Wilmer after my fellowship training in Boston. It felt like coming home, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to continue to grow under Dr. Handa's mentorship here. So ophthalmology was not actually on my radar when I began medical school, but a chance introduction led me to Dr. Yassine Daoud, a cornea specialist at Wilmer. And as a medical student, observing the life-changing impact of cataract and cornea surgeries was incredible. What moved me most was his passion, not only for his work, but also for his patients and their stories. He taught us not only clinical skills, but also the art of medicine. And that passion for patient care has been the cornerstone of my training. I will never forget this young patient I met early in my first year of residency in the emergency room. He presented with sudden vision loss in both eyes, and at his side were his wife and their 9-week-old baby. And with timely treatment, he went on to recover most of his vision. And over the years, I continued to take care of him in the resident clinic and watched his son grow into a very lively toddler. And I often found myself reflecting on the profound impact of this field and how different this patient's journey might have been had he not sought treatment or had he lost his vision. And it was a very powerful reminder early in my training for me of the life-changing impact that we can have as ophthalmologists, not only for our patients, but also for their families. And lastly, through my training, I have seen the impact of philanthropy at Hopkins and Wilmer. This particular patient that I mentioned is actually one of many patients whose visits and surgeries were covered by the Angel Fund, which was made possible by a large donation to this institute. And I have also personally benefited from philanthropy at Hopkins as well. Early scholarships from the Bloomberg and Goldwater Foundations supported my undergraduate training at Hopkins, which has opened countless doors for me. Over the years, I've seen how the generosity of donors who invest in the potential of people empowers them to pursue their goals and give back to the community. And in that same spirit, the Rising Professorship will provide a vital foundation for the next stage of my professional journey. As I look to the future, I recognize how this philanthropic support, along with the invaluable mentorship at Wilmer and the powerful stories of my patients, will continue to shape my work in the field of inherited retinal diseases. And as I wrap up, I'd like to thank my research mentors, Dr. Seth Blackshaw, Dr. Ken Whitwer, Dr. Jian Kian, and of course, Dr. Jim Handa. Their generosity with their time, their insights, and their lab resources have enabled me to start asking high-impact questions and pursue novel approaches to scientific challenges, work that I will be able to continue with this Rising Professorship. I'm also very thankful to the Wilmer Retina Division, where I've had many mentors over the years, including Dr. Mandeep Singh, who I work closely with as part of the Genetic Eye Disease Center. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Peter Campachiro, Dr. Mort Goldberg, Dr. Adrian Scott, and Dr. Fernando Arevalo, who I've worked closely with. Thank you again, Mr. Beng Jensen, for believing in the power of ideas and the promise of the next generation of physician scientists. I have very big shoes to fill. And thank you, Dr. McDonnell, for your visionary leadership in establishing the Rising Professorship. I'm deeply honored to carry forward the mission of this professorship. And to my parents, Aziz Ahmed and Shamsun Nahar, and to my brother Irfan, thank you for your unwavering support and patience over all these years. And to my husband and fellow Hopkins lifer, Steve Menes, thank you for being by my side every step of the way, ever since we met in medical school. And lastly, to our daughter Amira, who brings light into our lives, thank you for being our greatest joy. Thank you all for being here today for this celebration, and my deepest gratitude to the people who have made this possible.
People ask me, how can someone who speaks 3 languages be a brilliant scientist and great clinician and surgeon be so humble? And can someone like that fit in at Wilmer? And so I would want to let everyone, her parents, know, don't worry, we're good at getting rid of that humility, and give us a few years and she'll be like the rest of the Wilmer faculty. Congratulations, Ishraq, congratulations, Mom and Dad. Mr. Bang Jensen, thank you so much for making this happen. Peter, congratulations. Thank you for your role in making this event happen. And Mr. Stromberg, thank you for joining us today with a special event. Before we adjourn, I'm going to ask if Ishrat and her parents would come up and unveil this plaque, so Ishrat's name will forever, as well as future Retina Rising professors, be honored at Wilmer, and you'll mostly honor by all your contributions that you'll make to the field. So please go ahead and do your thing. And now we hope that you'll be able to stay and join us for reception and offer your thanks and congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you. Congratulations.